called is C4, Golf, Victor, Hotel, C4GVH.
Copy. The call sign is K4GVH. Is that a Roger?
That's correct. The call is C4, Golf, Victor, Hotel, C4GVH. Good Virginia AM, the name is Robert.
Roger, Robert. I've got about 2 dB over my noise level on you, but so far, I mean, I can copy you provided Mother Nature doesn't go south, Roger.
Oh yeah, where you're located, the name here is Robert, and I'm in a little town here called Riva, Virginia. R-E-V-A, be about 70 miles south of Washington, D.C. In a little town here called Culpeper, Virginia is where I'm located. I'll be running a rig here called a Kenwood GS690. Doing about 100 watts a year. Got a fan dipole up in the trees about 50 or 60 feet. And the microphone I'm using is an MC60. And I have been blind since birth. K4GVH.
Roger, Robert. Well, like I said, I'm catching you about 4 dB over my noise level on my local antenna. I've checked my Rochester and Milford SDRs, and I'm not copying you hardly at all on those. So, like I say, I'm just using my local antennas. I have 2 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas that I'll probably be testing out this afternoon. These are in the receive mode right at the moment, Roger. Roger, Robert. We're located just across the Ohio River from Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville, Roger.
Oh man, well you're doing a heck of a job. You're right there on the side of Louisville and all this thing taking be real good. Yeah, I just thought I got to start this rig a little bit by the band. It's pretty good, but they ain't too great. I've had this radio on since about 9 o'clock this morning. Got up and checked into a 6-meter net and picked out 140. It ain't really a net, it's a rack unit. 6 meters this morning around 9 o'clock in my area. I just had the radio on here since about 9 o'clock this morning, come on for 6 meters. So this radio's been on all day, and just thought I'd exercise it. C4GVH.
Roger, Robert. What network are you working, or were you working this morning?
I'll be working on a radio here called a Kenwood GS690 at the radio, and I have a fan dipole up in the trees here about 50 or 60 feet. And I'm running a Kenwood GS690, and it does about 50 watts on 6 meters. And it does 100 watts on 0 down.
Roger that. Yeah, I was thinking about the network that you said you were talking on this morning. I was just curious what network that might have been.
Was on 50.140, just a local RACU net, and we had that morning on 6 meters for the local guys, and people check into it. It ain't really a net, it's just a RACU frequency. It's on 50.140.
What was the frequency again?
50.140, 50.140.
Roger, that's 6 meters?
Roger.
Hey, Roger. Well, gosh, and you were sideband, Roger?
Yeah, for sure, sideband. Yep, this radio here does sideband on 6 meters, and also will do FM.
Roger that. Well, I once tried to work on 6 meters, but gosh, there wasn't anything happening locally, and nothing was coming in from anywhere else, Roger. So it was just kind of like watching paint dry.
Oh, I know how that is there, definitely. Well, 6 meters is a magic band, so you gotta kind of have to leave the radio on. It's the way I see it. You gotta kind of leave the radio on and let it stay on so it does what it's gotta do. And you gotta leave it on and just listen for it. That's why it's called the magic band. And that's what I was told when I got my ticket for the first time. I put in a 6-meter Midland one day, FM commercial rig, and made my first contact on FM one time on 6 meters, all the way to Logan, Fort Louisiana on a 6-meter J-pole.
Roger, Roger. Well, what kind of antenna are you using on gosh, that I forgot what band we were talking about. 6 meters. What kind of antenna are you using on 6 meters?
I got a 3-element Yagi. I have a 3-element beam that was made from a PDL2. It was made from an old PDL2 CB antenna. I got cut it down to 6, and that's what the band of the antenna I use for a 6-meter beam.
Oh, Roger that. Now, are you horizontally polarized or vertically polarized?
Well, I have that too. I got a 6-meter J-pole for vertical, and got a 6-meter J-pole for that, for having them on me. And then I do have the beam. It's horizontal.
Oh, Roger that, Roger that. Well, you're ready for it coming in any way it comes in. Hey, but what happens if it comes in at the 45? I guess you could use either one on that one.
I guess so on FM. But I haven't made a good 6-meter contact for a while since my friend Vince has died. I had a good friend of mine that passed away in 2019, and I really do miss him. And his call sign is K3VV, K3VV. And he was really a good ham. He's been around for a long time. He died on August 20th of 2019, and he died at the age of 70. And he had some complicated problems. Back in 2016, he had the brain tumor. And they operated on his brain. He went through that good and done great out of that. Then about a month later, he called me on the phone and said, I'm back in the hospital out of the throat and had some cancer. But you can still look your call sign up, but it's going to be on the computer. It's Solid Key, K3VV. And his name is Vincent Braxton. And he lived in Culpeper, moved down from Philadelphia for years, and bought his uncle's house. After his other uncle passed away, he named Ivan Taylor. And he bought the home place, the cinder block house, going back to the 1950s. Right now, out upstairs, and he had a ham shack up there. He lived right down the road here from me, right on 49. And man, I really miss him. And he was going to live in East Western, K4GVH.
Roger, Robert. Now, give me his call sign phonetically, if you would, so I know I've got it for sure. One more time, sir. You're right at my noise level, but to give it to me slowly phonetically, Roger.
Okay, it's K3. It's K3VV. Victor Bravo. I think that's right to say it. K3VV. The guy looked at K3VV, looked up, and you can look him up, and you'll see where it's been a solid key. And it's K3VV, Victor Bravo, K3VV, Vincent Braxton. And he lived in Culpeper. You'll see it if you can find it. K4GVH, good Virginia ham.
Roger, so I copy his silent key as Kilo 3 Victor Bravo. Is that correct?
I think so. If you want to look it up, you can come back and tell me.
Yeah, I've got it as Kilo 3 Victor Bravo.
Yes, K3VV. It's easy to remember. And you can look it up sometime. Stuff, he died in 2019 and died on August the 20th. And I really do miss him. And it don't seem right not to be able to ring the telephone and call me.
Roger, Roger. Well, sorry for your loss, sir. And hopefully maybe you'll be able to find another Elmer or an associate that you will be able to communicate with. I think you probably have pretty good luck there. But right now, you can't go outside, Roger.
No, I really hate it, man. It really aggravates me. This old coronavirus is messing up everything, messing me up going to church. And I close the churches down. It just don't seem right, man, for this stuff to be here. I know exactly where you're coming from there. Can't do anything, man. Can't do nothing like you want to do. But blame China for it. That's what I say. Blame Chinese people. But I heard they've been eating that, and that's what caused it to be around here. And it's been around here since November and December. And they didn't tell nobody was even around. So, that's pretty rough. K4 Golf Victor Hotel, K4 GVH. Roger,
Robert. That's true. That's where it came from. And maybe if they'd have been a little bit more forthcoming sooner, we might have been able to do a bit better, as far as trying to keep that line from bubbling up and exceeding the speed limit as far as the medical capabilities of our country, So I guess that's why we're kind of sheltering in place, is to try to keep that bubble from getting too far past the capabilities of our medical folks to handle the situation. So I guess we're just going to have to do what we can do for as long as we can shelter in place. And of course, I'd ask what your age is, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, I don't mind. I'm 44. That's bad. Then I went to real test for the general in 2007, but I didn't have this call sign then. I just put in for this call sign in 2016. I put in for this call sign, and we had to write down about 25 of them, me and my friend Vince did, and we put in for about 25 of these call signs, and then they had one that said called Go Go Baby, but I didn't want that one, so I put in for this one. And a guy in Florida had this call, I guess, and I don't know why he didn't renew it, unless he passed away or just didn't want to renew. And K4 Golf Victor Hotel, K4 GBH, has been around since the 1950s. The old call they used to have was called KI4 KBO, and that was only a technician license call sign. And that would have been good for CW, but I never was a CW person. But the call here is K4 Golf Victor Hotel, K4 GBH, good Virginia Ham.
Roger, Robert. Now, are you totally blind or just visually challenged?
Blind. I am totally blind. I've been blind since birth.
Roger. Now, how do you manipulate your radio? What kind of radio do you have that you can operate as a blind person?
I have a voice module, a voice synthesizer. It's in this radio. I took it out of my 450 when I sold it to buy this one. And I put the voice synthesizer in this radio when I bought it. And it lets me know when I'm on 40.
Roger. So every time you make an adjustment, that radio will tell you what's going on?
Yeah, it'll tell me, like, if I go to 20 meters, I can be on 20 meters. And it'll tell me the frequency, like 14 dots. For the wild system, it's 14.332. And if I go down on 40 meters, 7.258 mid-cars.
Roger. Guys, hang on just a minute here. I've got I just had a phone call, so I'm going to have to drop out, Robert, but it's been a pleasure talking to you, sir, and I hope that we can run across each other, in the future, Roger.
Okay, where'd you say you're located?
I am located just across the Ohio River from Louisville, Kentucky, just across the river at Louisville.
Oh, man, well, you're doing a good job. You are 5'9" here in the Central Virginia, 5'9". Sound real good. Well, you take care, and I hope to work with you again. And what's the name on that end?
Name is Jim, Juliet, India, Mike. Roger?
Roger, Jim. I'm sorry to hold you up for your phone call. So this is K4 Golf Victor Hotel, K4 GBH 73.
Roger, Robert. 3 is that way, sir. Have a good afternoon. This is KC9VKV. Kilowatt Bravo 2, Kilowatt Bravo Charlie, is that a Roger?
Roger, mobile. I am mobile. Name here is Foxtrot Radio Alpha, November Kilo.
Yeah, Roger, and what's your location, Mobile?
I'm in Ultra Rare County, New Jersey. Very rare county in New Jersey. Cumberland County, New Jersey. I'm going through. I'm doing some county hunting today. Once again, name is Frank. Foxtrot Radio Alpha November Kilo.
Roger, Frank. Well, gosh, I just got my 10-foot vertical magnetic loop finally oriented to where, so it's pointing in the right direction. There was, it's a 10-foot vertical magnetic loop, and when you get large loops like that, sometimes it's difficult to figure out exactly what foot goes forward. It does not necessarily prescribe to normal directionality. So I did have my Elmer help me out this afternoon, and did find the front end of the magnetic loop. Roger.
Roger. Well, you're about a 5'8" to 5'9" at times. You're definitely situated on me a little bit better than when we started. But yeah, I'm all the way through Cumberland County. I'm out in the backwoods of, I guess I'm in Vineland, New Jersey right now. Motoring through Vineland, New Jersey. Basically the God's country part of New Jersey. Over.
Roger that. Well, what radio are you running, sir?
I'm running the Yaesu 857 Delta, and I'm using Hustler resonators on the long mast. I have a long mast. I guess it's about a 6-foot mast on there, and able to run 40 and 20 on this one. Over.
Roger that. Well, I'm copying you about 4 dB hotter on my vertical mag loop than on my dipole antenna. I have worked out a little switching arrangement. My radio, it's an older FT990, but it is a goodie. It's pretty heavily modified coming and going. But one of the neat features of it is it has an aux antenna input. So I am utilizing the aux antenna input, and the neat part about that is that it has the input goes directly into the to the radio, so I can actually put a switch to where I can dial up the normal antenna that's actually on part of the transmit, or I can put in the external mag loop. So I've got a little push button selector here that I can switch back and forth between the magnetic loop and the dipole antenna. So it's instantaneous A/B check. Roger.
Roger. Very good. Yeah, I have one of those FT990s at home. I have it at home. I use it. Actually, it's funny. I use it for shortwave listening. Very good receiver in that radio, and I also run a what am I running? I have a Kenwood. I forget what Kenwood that is now, but I'm running the Kenwood off a 43-foot vertical at home. But the 990 is definitely a good radio. I have that connected to a balanced dipole. A balanced antenna out there with a 4-to-1, and use that on multi-bands. Over.
Roger that. Yeah. Well, I fell in love with it. Just absolutely a perfect radio for me. And my owner did arrange for me to have about a 3-month test with a 7300. And so we AV'd back and forth between the 990 and the 7300, mostly in the receive mode. And the 7300 did win out due to the frequency response capability down in the lower end of the audio spectrum. We ran the filter 1 position, which is the not really any filter at all, and very little, absolutely no AGC compression. And but the 7300 did have very good frequency response on past 100 cycles in receive. Roger.
Roger. Yeah. I never had to. I've been hearing everybody talk about those 7300s. I haven't had a chance to really look into them. I have a few radios, but right here in the truck's the 857. when I have that 990. I just bought that 990 about a month and a half ago, and I use it, like I said, I used to listen to the planes come up over the Atlantic right out of Europe, and I use it for short-wave listening. I use it to monitor some of the hand bands. And it's a nice accessory, and I really want to put the line. I put that antenna off, and I just running it off of that. Still getting used to it. Still learning how to use all the bells and whistles on it, but it was highly recommended, and managed to pick it up for like $400. So I thought I couldn't go wrong with that. I never did get the name. What's the name on that end?
What was the name of what? Repeat.
Your name. I never got your name. Over.
Oh, Roger. Name here is Jim, Juliet India Mike. And the call again is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. And we're located just opposite of Louisville, Kentucky, just across the Ohio River from Louisville, Kentucky. Roger.
Okay, fine business. I know. I've been down that way one time. One time I came down there, and in the country, over.
Roger. Well, Frank, I'm starting to lose you now. I'm starting to lose you. You're kind of fading into my noise level, Roger.
Okay, fine business, no problem. Yeah, step down in St. County. That's always going to be a tough one when people start looking for county hunting or something, or start collecting counties. So, but anyway, okay, Julie, it was good talking with you, and you take care. Radio's working good, the antenna's working even better. I'll say 7-3 and take care. This is KB2, KBC Mobile. I'll say 7-3 from Cumberland County, New Jersey.
Alrighty, Frank, and just one more time, your call is Kilo Bravo 2, Kilo Bravo Charlie. Is that a Roger?
Roger.
All right, we have been recording. Usually we do a QSO Vlog Net on Friday afternoons on this frequency, and we did have some additional wiring that we wanted to check out to be sure everything was operational for our net tomorrow afternoon between 3:30 and 5. So we are recording, and we will be posting this up on YouTube in the next couple of days. So we are calling it My Group Air Check Testing, but also we will probably put your call sign in the title. So if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, that will take you to our QSO Vlog page. And right now we're running about 1,050 recorded QSO Vlogs, but you'll be looking for one on page 1, hopefully, that will have your call sign in it. Roger?
Roger that. It'll be good to hear my voice and my audio on this. But I appreciate that. I didn't realize. But yeah, that'll be good to hear. I'll look that up when I get back to the home QTH.
Roger, Frank. Yeah, it'll probably take us a couple of days to get it uploaded. So, just in the next couple of days, check on YouTube for our call letter search KC9VKV. Roger.
Okay, fine business. All right, good. I'll take a look at that. Over.
Roger, Frank. 3's that way, sir. Have a good afternoon. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. Got a couple of folks coming back there right at my noise level. You are right at my noise level. Try again. We'll see if we can ferret your signal out. Roger. I copied Kilo Charlie 2. Is that a Roger? Yeah, Kilo Charlie 2 is about all I got there. You are right at my noise level, Roger. Sorry, I can't pull you out right now. Maybe later on conditions might get better. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor listening.
AL5WZ.
Something 5WZ, come back with the whole thing slowly, phonetically.
Alpha Foxtrot 5 Whiskey Zulu. Florida 5 Washington Zebra. Over.
Is that Alpha Foxtrot 5 Washington Zebra?
That is correct.
Roger, Roger. Where might you be located, sir?
The name here is Wayne, Whiskey Alpha Yankee November Echo, and we're located in Natchez, Mississippi, 80 miles upriver from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Over.
Roger. Well, you're doing me look like about an 8 over my noise level. That is, we can't really give you an S-meter reading because we're not running much RF in the front end of the radio, but I am looking at your audio on a VU meter on the output, and it is calibrated for 0 level on your peaks. When you see speaking, I am looking at the noise level, and it looks like your peaks are 8 dB above my local noise level. Roger?
Well, that sounds good. You're doing, your signal is real good there. The S-meter shows you 30 over there, for whatever that means. And what is your location?
We're located just across the Ohio River from Louisville, Kentucky. On the next to Louisville, Kentucky, just across into Indiana. Roger.
On the Ohio River there. Well, we're about 2 or 3 miles from the Mississippi River. Over.
Oh, roger that. Roger that. Well, you're sounding real good. What kind of radio are you running there?
Using the FTDX 3000, 100 watts into a G5RV. That G5RV is up around 4 meters. Over.
Roger. That radio's FTDX 3000?
It is. Over.
Sounds mighty good. Mighty good. How long have you had that radio?
Well, I bought it for myself for Christmas in 2018, so I've had it a little over a year. Over.
Roger. Well, I'm just looking at your signal on my VU meter, and I can tell what your dynamic range is. It looks to be about 3 dB, which is just absolutely perfect. That equates to about an 80 to 85% average peak modulation. Roger.
Well, that sounds good. We really like the radio. We had a 746 Pro. We still have it. Would sell it, but you can't get anything for a used radio. So the best thing to do is just keep it. Over.
Oh yeah. I don't think I've ever gotten rid of a radio that I've had. It's just kind of moved down the shelf. Roger.
Well, you never know when you might need it. Over.
That's right. That's right. You never can tell. Things get. Sometimes you make mistakes in your wiring or something, and have some problems that way, or just maybe it gets tired and needs to be go on a vacation. Roger.
Well, a 746 does have 2 meters on it. Over.
Roger, Roger. Well, you're sounding mighty good this way. We are recording from now until whenever we sign off. I'm not real sure what that is, but like I say, this transmission is a test transmission. We usually do our QSO VLOG net between 3:30 and 5 on Friday afternoons tomorrow, and we have done some rewiring, and we just wanted to be sure that everything is copacetic. Roger?
Well, you transmit real good there. One of the best signals I've heard in a long time. Over.
Roger, Roger. Well, we do have quite a bit of stuff hooked to the input and the output of the radio. Like I say, we do record our nets, so we've got all kinds of wiring for the digital recording system to work. Also, this is a house microphone that feeds 5 other radios, so we do have a selector switch that we can, run the mic into whatever radio we want. Actually, the mic and the key is selectable on six different radios. Roger.
Well, we just have
one mic hooked up there. Yaesu MD 100, over.
Oh, Roger. Well, that's, you can't talk on more than one at a time, unless you're really really ingenious, Roger.
Well, we've talked into the back of it a couple of times, over.
Roger. Now, we do recommend on those hand mics, particularly on the ICOM 7300 hand mics, that you do use a windscreen, and what happens is that the windscreen does fit over the hand mic very nicely, but you need to mark the front. I usually suggest using a little piece of masking tape on the front of the microphone that hangs down below the windscreen so you can tell you're talking into the right end of it, Roger.
Well, I guess that's another thing you say. You can use duct tape. Duct tape is good for everything, over.
Well, yeah, gorilla tape, gorilla duct tape, Roger.
Yeah, Roger, and that's going to have a cell phone there for the back of it, over.
Roger. I'm always kidding my local VHF repeater fans that I'm going to get a gallon of super glue and about 5 miles of gorilla tape, Roger.
Well, that gorilla tape and that super glue will do the job.
That's right. When we finish tuning somebody up, we say, all right, now seal it down, get the gorilla tape and tape her down.
That's always a good idea there. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, over.
Roger, Wayne. Well, listen, starting to fade out just a little bit there, so let me say 3's down that way. And we are recording, and if you would like to hear what your radio sounds like, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that will take you to our QSO vlog page. Right now we're featuring about 1,050 recorded QSO vlogs. This one will be on page 1, hopefully, and we'll have your call sign in it, Roger.
Give the call letters again. Kilo Charlie, what's the rest of it?
Call sign is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. And that will be the call sign that you will search when you go to YouTube in the next... It'll take us a couple of days to get it uploaded, Roger.
Roger, on that we'll try to remember to do that around Saturday or Sunday. We're under house arrest down here in Mississippi. We can't do anything but talk on the radio, over.
Roger. I think the whole country is under shelter in place, and or should be anyway. And, we just keep our heads down till this blows over, and hopefully we won't exceed, by doing that, the medical capabilities, That's the thing. We want to try to keep that bubble down so we have enough medical folks and facilities to facilitate treatment of all that come in, Roger.
Roger on that there. Well, we just hope the farmers are out there planting those seeds in the ground where we'll have food at the supermarket, Roger.
Yes, that's a Roger. That's part, of more or less sheltering in place. You're just not going downtown and, looking for, large groups to get in between, Roger.
Well, a lot of people don't take it serious, to get out there and do whatever else they're going to do to just be close to people. I like to stay at home there, over.
Roger. Now I was trying to figure out, I've got a little map here. What would you be southwest of Louisville, do you think?
Well, I tell you exactly where we are. We're on the Mississippi River. If you go down to New Orleans and just come up, we straight north of Baton Rouge on the river. Straight south. Just go straight south of Memphis.
Roger, I'm coming around to south and just a little bit west of south there. This is just on the receive side, Roger. Yeah, Wayne, do you still have a copy, sir? I think you're coming back there. I'm not real sure. I guess Mother Nature pulled the plug on us there for a second, Roger. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to come back to where I was. I was about 45 degrees, which is northeast, which would be the backside to you probably. Yeah, that's why that was so good, because this magnetic loop is double-sided, and so I was off the backside. So I'm going to go back to where I was and see if you pop back up. Right now I'm getting close to back where I was. Should be back now, Roger. Now, I guess Mother Nature pulled the plug there, Wayne. So, gosh, if you still got a copy on me, let me say threes to you, buddy. Good talking at you. And like I say, if you go to YouTube in the next couple of days and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that will take you to our QSO Vlog page, and you'll be looking for a QSO that has your name in the title. So we'll say threes for now. Have a great afternoon, and gosh, if you get a chance to join us tomorrow afternoon between 3:30 and 5, I'd love to have you. This is KC9 VKV listening. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor calling CQ, CQ, CQ. Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor calling CQ and listening. I hear a couple of stations coming back. They're right at my noise level. Let me give you an example. We're running about a kW right now. We are running about a kW. Now we dropped down to 100 watts. We are at 100 watts now. We are at 100 watts now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give you some idea of what we might be copying from you. Right now we're back to the KW. KC9 VKV listening. First off, I'm copying somebody tuning up on the frequency. That's not very polite to tune up on an active frequency. Not too nice at all, so you might not want to tune up on an active frequency. And I did hear another station calling there. Other station, try again, please. Copying somebody down in Jacksonville, Florida. You'll have to come back with the call sign slowly, phonetically, please.
Kilo Mike 4, Sierra Juliet. That's Kilo Mike 4, Wall Street Journal. Over.
Kilo Mike 4, Whiskey Sierra, James, Roger.
Roger, Roger. You're 5-9 here in Neptune Beach, just east of Jacksonville. And I guess the band's not great, but I'm putting out as much as I can. 100 watts.
Roger, Roger. I'm copying you just a couple of dB over my noise level, but I want to try to pull my antenna down your way there. You're probably about 150 degrees from my location, so let me pull it around here and see if I can copy you better on my 10-foot mag loop. Come back.
You 336 degrees from me up here, I guess. And unfortunately, I don't have a beam for forward, so I wish I did, but all I've got is a nice 100 watts.
Roger. Now, gosh, I show you to be probably about 145 degrees from my location. I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. I'm just across the river from Louisville, in Indiana, actually.
Roger, yeah, I live in that area. We went a couple years ago. We went to the NASCAR race. Beautiful part of the country, Georgia.
Roger that, roger that. Well, we're trying to get our mag loop straightened out here as far as directionality. These are, I have two 10-foot vertical mag loops. One is stationary, and one is on a rotor, and they have a co-phase harness that we can take the two 10-foot mag loops and put them together, and many times we get 3 or 4 dB hotter signal when they're in the co-phase mode. But right now I'm trying to check out the directionality of one. One is on a rotor. It's only about 2.5 feet off the ground, but it does a great job. And I just had checked my my orientation as far as directionality of the loop this morning, and so I've just got me a map now with some basic degrees on it, and I have a rotor control that gives me wherever we are in degrees, and so I'm hoping that the whole idea is to get a better copy than my dipole antenna. Roger.
Roger. You must be doing something right, and the audio got deeper. The good signal now. You're about 10 over 9 up here.
Roger. What is the name there? What's your name, please?
My name here is Pierre, and I'm Papa India Echo, Echo. And I got a hex key on the roof and a dipole for 40 meters, and I can do 80 meters a little bit on it, but it's not really good for that. The antenna system here is a work in progress, and I still don't have an amplifier, so that's going to go quite a few years in the future though.
Roger. Did I copy the name correctly? Jerry? Is that a Roger?
Negative is Pierre, Frank. Pierre, Papa, Echo, Romeo, Echo.
One more time, very slowly, phonetically. I'll get it, but just help me out a little bit.
Echo, Romeo, Echo. That's Pierre.
Did I copy the last as Romeo, Echo?
Roger. Papa, India, Echo, Romeo, Echo. That's P-I-E-R-R-E.
Would that be Pierre?
Roger. I grew up in Canada, I'm Canadian, and I moved here, I moved to the U.S. about 14 years ago.
Roger, Pierre. Okay. Well, we're really down to close to the noise level there, and it was hard to pull it out. But I did get the name, and the call is Kilo Mike 4, Whiskey Sierra, John. Roger. Roger, Pierre. Well, let's see. You are headed towards my noise level. So let me say threes to you, sir. And now we have been recording, so if you want to check out what your radio station sounds like, if you go to YouTube in the next couple of days and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, we'll take you to our QSO Vlog page. We're running right now about 1,050 recorded QSOs. This one should be on page 1. And it will have your call sign in it. Roger.
Roger. I'll definitely take a look at that. Thank you, sir, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a great weekend. 73, my friend. Kilo Charlie, Victor, Kilo Mike 4, Whiskey Sierra Juliet. 73.
Roger. And it'll take us a couple of days to get it uploaded. And if you get a chance in the meantime, we will be on this frequency tomorrow afternoon between 3:30 and 5 on our regular QSO Vlog net. So if you get a chance, check in. We'll be looking for you. 3 is that away. This is KC9 VKV listening.